for the money. Yeah, they talking about we ain't got them motherfucking bags, boy.
Hi guys, welcome back to Money Medics. So it's just me today, no Ashley, no Nick, unfortunately. We're all going to be telling our individual stories on how we bought our houses. So today will be my little story. So, when did I decide to buy my house? You kind of just grow up thinking, oh, it's kind of what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get married, buy a house, have kids, etc, etc. So it was always something that was on my mind anyway. But when I actually thought, okay, I need to start planning to buy a house, was probably when I finished university. So I graduated 2014. So in 2013, I bought myself a new car. This is not something I would actually recommend, but it's what I did anyway. So I bought myself a new car in 2013, and it was a 2-year contract. So I had 2 years to pay off this car. Well, I didn't have to pay it off, but I wanted to pay it off. So I was quite strict with paying it off anyway. So in the 2 years, I paid it off. That was like end of 2014. And I thought, okay, now that I've paid off this car, let me now start buying, like saving for my house. Okay. So how long it took to save for my house? So like I said, I started thinking about it 2014. And once I finished uni, I started a pre-registration course. So that's basically a 1-year placement that all pharmacists have to do before they qualify. So when I was doing that placement, I was earning £18,500 a year, and I used to get £1,500 a month. Also, bear in mind, around this time I decided that I wanted to get braces as well. So I got braces, and that used to cost £250 a month. And what else was going on that time? I think that was my main expense. So with my £1,500, I used to save about £500 to £750 a month. I used to also pay my parents' council tax because I'm a good child, so which was like £100 a month. And that was my main expense. But the thing is, because I just paid off my car, in saving for my car, I had cut down so much. So I used to, this is so embarrassing, I used to buy new weave every single month, and I used to spend about £200 a month on weave. This was a long time ago when I was in school. So I cut down my weave spending. I'd cut down the amount that I used to spend on clothes. Like, I really cut costs whilst I was at university anyway. So by the time I'd finished, I was kind of used to that low budget lifestyle, so I didn't really have that much to pay for. So yeah, it made it a lot easier to save for the house because of the habits that I'd already started getting into. So yeah, £500 a month. And then like I got a proper job. I qualified, got a proper job, and I started saving £1,000 a month with my new salary. And then I moved to Bristol. So when I moved to Bristol, that's when all my expenses just like went out the window. Obviously I had to pay for rent. When I did find a place to rent, there is this place in Bristol that everyone loves to live. It's called Clifton, and it's like the place to be. But I just thought I couldn't really justify at the time spending £700 a month on rent when I know that I've got something else that I really need to focus my mind to. So I just had to make sure I found a house that was relatively cheap, but still, still decent living conditions. So at the time, £350 on rent. I'll probably spend about £100 a month on petrol, and still I didn't have an expensive phone contract, I didn't have any gym memberships, I didn't have anything else to pay for, just that £350 on rent and travel. So I was still saving quite hard, £1,000 a month. And then I got the money together, so altogether it probably took me almost 2 years to get the money that I needed in order to buy a house. And bearing in mind, I also saved for decorating the house as well. I took that into consideration. So obstacles that I had whilst buying my house. So basically, when I moved to Bristol, it was actually a 3-year contract. So I was only supposed to be there for 3 years maximum. The thing I didn't realise is that trying to get a mortgage when you have a contract job is really hard. Most mortgage providers don't like people that are contractors. So a lot of people that are like IT contractors, doctors that locum, things like that, they tend to have specific mortgage companies that they can go to. So yeah, that was really hard for me as well, and that was quite a big obstacle. Eventually I did find a mortgage provider. I went to this mortgage broker who advised me and told me what to do. The only thing was that I wasn't able to get a 5% mortgage, which is what I initially saved for. It had to be a 10% mortgage. But then, the timing was just so all over the place. Before I knew this, I went back to my manager, and I basically explained the situation. I was like, look, I know that I'm on a 3-year contract here, but I really want to buy a house and settle down. Please, can you make me permanent? And then, surprisingly, she was like, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, I'll make you a permanent worker. I was like, oh, okay, thanks. My new contract, okay, I'm a permanent worker. That was really easy. But then, by then, I didn't even need it in the end, because I'd already spoken to the mortgage advisor who had given me this 10% mortgage. So I just thought, let me just go with that. When I told him that I had become permanent, he did tell me that there was another, I think it was Santander or something, that could give me a 5% mortgage. But then my mortgage payments will go up to £600 a month, and the interest rate will be higher, because of course it's a lower loan to value, is that the word? Loan to value? Yeah, loan to value ratio. So I thought, okay, you know what, no, let me just keep what I'm doing now. I'll stick to the 10% mortgage, that's fine. And my mortgage payments were £504 a month, which was really good, because I was like, my plan was to live by myself, so it has to be affordable basically for me. Right, so did I use any of the government's related schemes to purchase my house? No, I didn't, because I knew that for me Bristol would be temporary, and that even though I was going to buy a house there was a good chance that I wasn't going to live there for a very long time. So when I was buying a house, at the back of my mind I was thinking, okay, I need to get somewhere that I can also live in, but will potentially be a good, will give me good rental income in the future. So my criteria was very different to probably a lot of other people's criteria at the time. I mean, for me, what was most important was that I had 2 double bedrooms and an ensuite and a main bathroom. I was very particular with my search. And also Bristol has, I don't know if it's like 2 or 3 universities, so I knew it would be a good student location. So there's just lots of things on my mind that I had to think about when I bought a house. So it was a place for me to live. It was a residential property, sorry. It was a place for me to live at the time, but I just knew that I was unsure about where my life will take me in the next like 3 to 5 years. So I didn't want to do anything that would tie me down. When you take out a government scheme, you're not allowed to rent out the place, you're not allowed to do anything really. You have to be the one to stay there. And yeah, I was staying there, but like I said, I knew that there might be other plans in the future for when I get married and stuff like that. Looking back, even though I was I still am kind of really hard saver, I don't think it really affected my quality of life much, to be fair. Whilst I was at uni, I felt like I just spent for no reason. Like, I would buy things and then a few months down the line, you just think, why did I buy this? Like, what am I even doing with this? Even the shoes that I'm wearing right now, if you can see these shoes that I'm wearing, don't look. But if you can see these shoes, I bought these thinking, oh my gosh, they're so cool. And I think I've worn them like 5 times. Bearing in mind, I bought this quite a while ago, so I'm trying to wear it to make use of it. I think now, whilst saving for a house, or even while saving for my car, it just made me a lot more careful with my money. I mean, I will still go out, I'll still enjoy my life, you know, I'll still do this, that and the other, I'll still go on holiday. It's just that I just wouldn't buy just for the sake of buying. So, yeah, so I hope you enjoyed my story. Like I always say, we constantly read your comments, we literally read everything that you say, all your DMs, everything. So if you have any questions, if you want me to expand on anything, and if you have any tips for us, because I'm still in the process of changing my mortgage now to a buy-to-let. Any tips from me, then by all means, please, I'm listening. Do let me know. Bye.